Yeah, so you had that issue, I mean, like, just tear the house down like that and then just go to sleep? Like it's no problem?
Yeah, just go to sleep. And you can't go to sleep because you already been interrupted. I was resting well.
Yeah,
You done came in, you done disturbed my sleep. Now you laying over there asleep. Now I'm left with these thoughts.
yeah,
You just don't know. It was many, many nights that I walked and paced the floor, not to bash his head in.
yeah,
I was becoming a person that I didn't recognize.
yeah,
And I knew, with that being said, I had to get out of that situation.
yeah,
Because I'm not going to go do time. It wasn't worth it.
yeah,
And I had my kids to think about.
right.
That was my priority, my kids. So that's where I drew my strength from.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So what was your breaking point? I got a story to go along with that.
My breaking point, I
Breaking
believe.
point.
I think when I lost my baby.
Yeah,
When our baby died, and I think 2 weeks after she died, I found out he fathered another child outside our marriage.
yeah,
That was a lot to deal with.
yeah,
Going through mourning of my own baby, trying to be a wife, a mother to my kids that I'm still responsible for, and this outside child that just came into our life.
right.
He just dumped the baby off on me one day and left.
What?
Yes.
Wow. Wow, that was a lot to deal with.
Yeah, that was a lot to deal with.
You know, I remember this, and you know, I'm going deeper than I wanted to in this, but since y'all here and y'all talking about y'all stories, I know my breaking point. I was building my daughter's house,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, most people that know me, you know, I work my butt off, right? And you know, you try to get accepted by these people, but by the way, you will never be accepted. Nothing you do is gonna be good enough, you know. And if you don't know no better, you're gonna continue to try. And you know, it just hurt my soul to hear somebody go through this for almost 30 years, 20 plus years, right? I did it.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I'm a guy that believe in legacy and leaving my children something that they can build from and something that they can have a different type of future than most blacks. I was real serious about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember building my daughter's house, and in my mind I'm like, boy, they gonna love me now. You know, you know, this is so great. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It was such a big achievement. And I remember I was putting a roof on the house. I was working at ExxonMobil. I was extremely tired.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked there during the week, and then on the weekend I would continue to build a house. And I never forget, boy, I get up early in the morning, and I was on top of the house. I hadn't eaten breakfast, and I was, you know, there working on the roof. And it just dawned on me. I said, I can't do this no more.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do this no more. I was hungry. You know, nobody really brought me no drinks or food or whatever out there, and I found my stomach hurting. I was just tired, and I just say I can't do it no more. I couldn't, right? And I remember they have a jealousy for you that's unbelievable. You know, they jealous of your achievements. They jealous of your personality. I mean, just the most silliest things. And you know, by me being a very talented man, I had to really dumb myself down a lot. I mean, I really had to dumb myself down in my clothes. You know,
Wow.
I couldn't, you know, just dress. You know, it was hard for me to go and visit family members.
Yeah, I experienced that part
Yeah,
too.
and it wasn't like I couldn't go. I could just do what I want to do.
Just didn't want to deal with the drama.
You just don't want to deal with the drama. You're just so worn down, and you know, and now just sitting here talking about it, going back over some of those memories, it's, I don't know, it's just a horrible thing. So I really believe this is very good what we're doing, you know, to kind of talk about it a little bit, even if we just get one person to just kind of think about it and start the conversation. But I will say this though, You know, if you guys are having a thought that you're dealing with a person with narcissistic personality disorder, don't say anything to them. What you do, I'm going to tell you what I believe you should do. Just start studying it, be quiet, and watch, right? Find out what the patterns are, and just sit back and watch and just take mental notes, right? And if you do that, it'll be like a picture show to you. You're right. But if you go and you start telling them what you think, and you know, I believe you this or that, it's just like, what is that lizard that changed colors?
Chameleon?
A chameleon, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna change colors on you, right? And then you're gonna have to try to figure out that color. So don't say nothing, just sit back and watch, and you'll see the pattern, right? And you know, and don't be afraid to talk to nobody about it. Get you some, and I advise you to get a counselor, to be honest with you. That's what I had to do. Once I got a counselor, it started to change everything for me.
And a good counselor, not just anybody that tell you anything.
Right.
That is spiritually connected, like pray over that counselor. If that God gives you the sign that this is who I should seek for what I'm going through. Because all counselors are not good counselors.
Right.
So you can't just share everything with everybody, because there are monitoring spirits. Like, you never know when you're vulnerable. Some people just want to know and bring you down.
Right.
Or tell you bad things to keep you in that situation. So you have to be careful with who you expose your true self to. So
Yeah, and I agree with that 100%. But you know, this is the thing about a counselor, right? And not just talking to somebody you know, or somebody in the family, or your brothers, your sisters, anybody that you know, right? Because they're gonna have you at heart, and they might not give you the best information, you know.
Yeah, there are no ties to you.
Right, right, and then you can just open up to a counselor, because they can't go and tell, they can't go and talk your business, right? So you don't have to worry about that. You can be very transparent and get what you need. So that's advice from me. I'm a guy that dealt with it for a long time, and I have a lot of education. Not that I'm a doctor or anything, but due to experience, I have a lot of education on this thing. It won't happen to me again. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Oh yeah, you got that right. Now I want to say this. What helped me? I didn't get counseling. I wrote it down, and it helped because later on you can go back and read it, and it take you to a whole nother emotional
Right.
thing.
Right. I took a journal too.
Yeah, I would write it down and then go back and read it. My God,
And
I'm going through this. This happened.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you'll forget. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's a mental
Yeah.
block you
Yeah.
do yourself,
Yeah.
but you'll forget about some of that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
What you've been dealing with.
Yeah.
That's what helped me.
Yeah.
Writing it down.
Yeah, writing it down.
Mhm.
Right. I know y'all looked at the previous show that we talked about this. It was a good friend of mine. Her niece ended up killing her husband. Right. He was.
I was almost there.
Yeah.
I was almost there.
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah.
Nobody knew either. I mean, I remember it like it was yesterday. He was just laying there in the bed, sleep. This man would, not only would he be abusive, he would abuse me in more than one way.
Oh yeah.
Even sexually.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
After calling me the B, the H, the whole 9 yards. At some point, I forgot my name was Tanya.
Yeah.
I thought my name was, bitch this and whole that.
Yeah.
But going back to me pacing the floor, he was just laying there asleep. We had just had it out, and he sleep. And that was like the last draw for me.
Right.
He laying there asleep. I'm pacing the floor.
I know
I
what you're
had a
talking
hammer.
about. Not the hammer.
I had a hammer. And it wasn't the part what you put that you hit the nail with.
Yeah.
It was the part you take the nail out with, and I was gonna hook it right back here.
Yeah.
he was bald too.
Yeah. Hey, it wasn't me.
It took a lot of prayer. I kid you not. It took so much prayer. I cried.
Yeah.
I started crying. I was praying, and I was just standing over him. He didn't even know I was standing over
Yeah.
him. He was about to go. He's about to go meet Jesus.
Yeah.
But thankfully, God answered me, and I was able to get rid of him.
Well, I'm glad you made it out of that. You know, my counselor helped me with boundaries, and I didn't know nothing about boundaries. I don't know
I
about.
didn't either.
Yeah.
My dad spoke to me about boundaries.
Yeah.
He said you got to have some boundaries.
Yeah.
You don't have no boundaries. That's an issue.
Yeah, I came from a broken home, which a lot of the issue with me, right? And I think this real important for young people and children and moms and dads. They need to know about these things because you need to teach your children about this stuff, right? Because when you become an adult, if you're not knowledgeable of what can happen, then you can just fall right into it, right? So I believe it's a responsibility to a parent, you know, to know about these things, right? Because if you know about it, you can kind of talk to them about it. It's a scripture that I embed in my daughter's head, my son too, when he listened. 1 John 3:7. It talks about. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull it out and I'm gonna read this right quick. I'm gonna pull this out, and I think it's a good scripture to kind of. Let me see where we at here. It's 1 John 3:7. It goes like this: Dear children, do not let anyone deceive you about this. When people do what is right, it shows that they are righteous, right? So I'm gonna stop right there. When people do what is right, it shows that they are righteous, right? So, in God's word, He's talking about what a person does, and as I keep going down through this, it's gonna open your eyes even up a little bit more. My children needed to know this because it was very important for them to have discernment of who's around them, what they dealing with, because when we're young, oh, she's fine, oh, he's handsome, and you jumping off into this thing, don't even know what you're jumping into, right? So what I do, and I tell my girls, look, you becoming adults, right? You're gonna do adult things, but at least take the time out to understand what you're dealing with. So I know I'm not gonna be around all the time, but the word is always gonna be there. So I mean, I just pound this in their head. Daddy, why you keep telling me this? But now, my oldest daughter,
thank you for it.
Oh yeah, she's 28 years old now. She recited to me now, right? So it shows that they are righteous, right? Even as Christ is righteous. But when people keep on sinning, it shows that they belong to the devil, right? So that part right there, let's say you're not a spiritual person and you ain't down with the sin thing or whatever, right? So let's take the sin out, which sin is a big umbrella to have a lot of things under it, right? So let's say just doing you wrong, treating you wrong, disrespecting you, calling you out your name, mistreating you mentally, physically, all this stuff, right? Okay, and it's not the fact that we can't make mistakes because we all are sinners. We make mistakes, but it's when you continue to do something.
The same mistake.
You understand what I'm saying?
And over and over.
So, okay, yeah, you made a mistake, right? But it's just you just keep doing it, right? It shows that they belong to the devil, who has been sinning since the beginning. But the Son of God came to destroy the works of the devil. He came to destroy it. He came to destroy it with what? With knowledge and wisdom, right? So those who have been born into God's family do not make practice. That's exactly what I was just saying. When you
wrongdoing,
they don't make practice of it. They'll make a mistake. I make a mistake. You'll make a mistake. All right, you might do something to your husband that's out of line. He might do something to you that's out of line, right? But if he just continue to do that, he might apologize for it, but if he just continue to do that, man, that's just who you are. Right? So I believe that is a very important scripture to put in your mix and own up to it. It's just the truth of the matter. And one thing that I learned personally as a man, by coming out of a broken home, I studied the word hard. I want to be the best man I can, the best husband, the best father, and all that. And it just wasn't going to come to me just by chance. You have to know this. You have to study it. You got to want it, right? And I never forget when I heard a sermon from Dr. Tony Evans, and he spoke of, for us being a strong man, you can't allow your feelings to operate you or move you. Operate by your feelings. You see what I'm saying? And so he was talking about a man, but I'm gonna say this to ladies too, which I know it's in a lady's nature to know feely touchy. That's a lady's thing, right? But you cannot allow your feelings to direct your path because it's going to take you to a bad place.
Oh yeah.
So when you're in a situation, oh well, like you just said, well the kids and I feel like this and
Yeah.
let's get on that reality bus. It's real. You know what I'm saying? And if we can just stay in the truth of the matter, we can keep ourselves safe, even though it'll hurt, right?
Right.
So, I'm just saying this to you, really, because you're the youngest one in the bunch.
Into the world out there
yeah,
watching.
yeah. It's all good. But, hey, pay attention,
Yeah.
So, do you see a mistake that you made in there?
Stand.
Yeah.
I think that's the mistake. Stand.
Yeah.
We ignore the signs, or we see the sign and then be like, "No, we'll pass it over." Or
Yeah, you be
saw
having
the
all that
potential
hope.
and
Hope.
you pray, and like I said, people change. People constantly changing, and that's okay. But you have to stand up for yourself and say, "I don't want to accept it." Otherwise, you're gonna keep falling for the same thing.
Right.
And so it's a learning experience. You learn and you have to relearn. And not only that, it's something that I seen growing up.
Right.
I saw it. I grew up with it. So
Right.
it was like, my mama, she a ride or die. She, So it's like that's instilled, or that spirit, or that generational curse, or whatever you want to call it, trickled on to me.
Yes.
So I haven't been through abuse. I haven't been through the level of my mom has experienced, but I
Right.
have been through certain things that she has experienced.
Right.
And not only that, sometimes that what your parents go through affects your kids.
Right.
That karma
It
don't
does.
always hit them and hit your kids in a
Ooh,
ripple
girl,
effect.
you making me think of some stuff.
So, and like I said, like she just said, she experienced her husband, had an outside baby, and devastated. Guess what? It hit me.
Yeah.
And I was not in that covenant of what they were going through. I was an innocent soul.
Yeah.
But that same spirit affect me too. That
Girl,
karma
you making me
come
think
back
of something
and
in
hit me.
Ezekiel right now. But go
But
ahead.
that's how it goes.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't recognize that because you don't take the time to realize and face your reality. And for me, I can sit back and I don't move off emotions. If I'm going to do something, I pray over it.
Right.
If I got a call, just like if one of my husband's mistress, she called, let me call you back. Or if I got a call, I'm praying over it. God, move me. Give me the things and control my emotions and the right things to say. And not let me act irrational when I do things or say things. Because that's a painful thing to put somebody through. Especially as your wife.
Yeah, no doubt.
And
no doubt.
He's my first everything.
Yeah.
First love, high
Yeah.
school sweethearts, everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's...
Well, let me say this to you. Switch him out as being your everything and let God be your
Of
everything.
course. Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
I never said he's my everything.
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
experienced the
Yeah.
first everything, those type of things.
Okay,
with him.
okay.
I never said he's my everything.
Okay.
God
okay.
is always my everything.
Yeah, but
Before anything.
He goes something else too. We are responsible for our well-being and our no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Even if somebody abused us to the core, because in my situation, I take ownership of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason being is whether I was ignorant to the fact or whatever, I'm responsible for me.
Yeah, we all are. We
You know
all
what I'm
play
saying?
a part in it.
Yeah, you responsible for shutting that down.
Yeah.
And you got to teach people how to treat you.
Yeah, I'll walk away.
And to be honest with you, that's the best thing, because have you ever dealt with something or somebody and you let them know, nah, we're not having that over here, and you
Yeah.
shut them down?
Boundaries.
Right?
That's boundaries.
You see what I'm saying?
And you stick to those boundaries.
Yeah.
And they,
But I have to learn that.
Yeah, me too.
It's not something.
But that's
I
what I'm saying.
just
That's something
knew
that's
already.
taught. Like, we're taught to stay in your marriage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're grown as women. We're taught that early. You stay, you stick and pray, and go to God, go to therapy, go to counseling, all the above. When I filed for my divorce, a lot of people are happy. You're gonna regret it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'll just stand alone.
Yeah, stand
Because
alone.
I have to do what's best for me and my
Yes.
spirit.
Yeah.
Because why be married and then be a single mother? Or why be married and have to share your husband with the streets?
Yeah.
And then I got a daughter. And now I
Yeah.
have a son. So
Right.
it's like, I don't want my kids to be an example of those products. Because I became a product of something, before it. Because that's a generational curse.
Right.
So the spirit's fester later on. And it's like, who would have known I would have, experienced the same thing. Or some of the same things my mom experienced.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
I'll tell you who wouldn't have thought of me. I wouldn't have.
But that's a lot of us. But that's why I say
I would
we are
not have
grown
ever
as
imagined
women.
that.
We're taught you stick it through, you pray it out, you hold your husband down. And,
Don't listen to that.
but that's what I'm saying. You
Yeah,
know
yeah,
that now
yeah,
after
yeah,
you
yes,
experienced it.
yes.
But you have to go through it because, like I say, as our community, especially Black people, and what we're taught to go through the struggle. Other cultures, they out.
Yeah.
Some people, I ain't never experienced that.
Yeah.
But it's our community, and I think it starts from the roots from back then. But now that I know what I know now, I would stay my kids, my son, my daughter, like run.
Yeah, you just said
automatically.
You said a key word right there. Key thing, actually. You know, it's the responsibility of us as parents. You know what I'm saying? The cameraman almost fell. No, we're gonna let this roll. This real talk. I mean, but back to what we saying.
I almost fell.
Yeah, but you know, hey, but that's why conversations like this is so grandiose, so important to have. Because if families sit around and have these conversations and something show up, you know, you first thing come back to your mind. I mean, we talked about that. Hold up, that looked like something we talked about.
Yeah.
So
why not they, well, sometimes I know in my household, what stays in my household, it stays in it. You know, you're not allowed. What happens in my household stayed in my household. So you couldn't seek for help. And then I know for a fact, my mama didn't tell us to go to cancer. I decided to go to cancer for myself.
Yeah.
So it's in Black community, it's not, go to cancer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People are shameful. You get bashed for going to cancer. Ooh, what's wrong with so-and-so? They go to therapy. Everybody should go to therapy.
Yeah.
I feel like, if you don't have a therapist, I don't want to talk to you. Don't you mad?
Look, teacher. Look. Let me look. On that note right there about counseling. You know, I try to find amazing ways to explain something. It's all good. If we go over, we just go over a little bit. So look, this is how I explain, and I hope somebody listens to this and pay attention. You know, on the last show we did, we talked about mental health, and we talked about counseling and how we don't do that in our community, and how we shame of it or whatever. That don't make no sense. It's just like your car. You take your car to go get maintenance done on it, but you won't take yourself to go get maintenance, right? So let me explain this real plain for somebody, all right? So let's imagine you have a child sitting at a table, right? And we all have had children. So y'all remember those? I don't know about you because you're younger. They probably don't deal with puzzles no more. But you remember the puzzles, right?
Oh yeah.
And when you buy a child a puzzle, a child's puzzle, they have big pieces, big pieces. You got an eyeball on it, the feet on it. On this one, they got an arm on this, so you already know where to place this stuff, right? It's simple, okay? So imagine you pour a adult's puzzle out on the table for a child. He's gonna be confused. He's gonna look at these pieces. What is 1,000 pieces on the double? He's gonna look at that and be like, I can't do that. But just imagine his grandmother come in and say, baby, I got you. With her old gray hair, with her sweet self, bring some cupcakes and milk to the table, whatever. Say, baby, I got you. Hold his hand, rub his hand, and say, I'm going to help you sort through the pieces. Right? That's what counseling is.
Right.
Life have a lot of parts and pieces to it. And sometimes we need help to manage those pieces. You get what I'm saying? So come on, y'all. Therapy is self-management. It's helping you. Yes. It's helping you see things from other perspectives. I'm going to tell this story. We got to get out of here because we ran out of time. But my counselor, I think I talked about this on the last show when D. Coop was on. My counselor, she's a Caucasian lady, and she's 70 years old. She was 70 then. She's probably about, 74 now.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I need to call and check on that and talk to her in a minute. And I was so upset when I came home from work. I was being, what they call that when somebody go out and just bash your name. It's a terminology.
Defamation of character.
That too, but this goes along with narcissism.
Okay.
What they call that, it'll come to me in a minute, y'all. But anyway, I was so upset. I was upset, and I couldn't wait to get on the virtual session with her when I got home. And I had texted that day, I need to talk to you. And I got to the house, got on the computer when I got off, And we got on the session. She said, Greg, what is wrong? I said, it's been said about me that I left home because I have a younger woman. And I have a younger woman, and she fell out laughing.
Because you were so upset.
Because I was upset. You know,
to validate your feelings.
you know what I'm saying? I was upset. You know, I mean, you know, I done spent all this time trying to be, now I'm not perfect. Let's make this clear. I'm not perfect, but trying to be a good dad, good husband, you know, and all this, and you assassinate my character like that.
Oh yeah.
You know, telling people, and it was bleeding all through, you know, family or whatever, and that didn't feel good. She fell out laughing, y'all. I'm telling you. And these is what she told me. She said, I said, why you laughing? She said, it's so funny, Greg. She said, if they want to make you out to be a player at 50-something years old, be a player, Greg. She said, I think it's sexy. And before you know it, me and her laughed the rest of the session. So what I'm saying, what counseling to do for you,
Another perspective.
they give you another perspective. You see what I'm saying?
Perspective.
So, man, get your maintenance and take care of yourself. Don't be
Yeah.
no fool. You're not crazy. You just need management. That's it.
Yeah, because as human beings, we're not taught to deal with all these emotions by ourselves.
Right.
But we're brainwashed to think you have to keep it in, suppress, be quiet. Don't tell your business. Cause
But that's what the
people
devil
talk about
wants.
Yeah,
He want to isolate you.
Oh, of course, want to isolate you. That's what depression is. When you have mental breakdowns, that's the spirit.
Yes.
Because you're desperately trying to break through it, but the depression in that spirit is trying to keep you down and in it. So that's why people be like, oh, I've been depressed for these many years and I never got help and I was never taught to get help, and that's the main reason why.
Right.
So,
See, I'm an open book. I just talk.
Yeah.
but you don't
Let it out.
therapy.
No, I don't do therapy, but I don't hold it in. I'm
Yeah.
not embarrassed about nothing.
Yeah, let it out.
Yeah.
Look, it's just like having an upset stomach. Don't hold it in. Go sit on the toilet and get that on out.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, get
Yeah.
that out. get it out.
Oh,
Right.
that's true. Because it'll eat you alive.
Yeah.
It will eat you
Yeah,
alive.
you let it.
Yeah.
So, okay, guys, look, we're going to wrap this thing up. We've been doing it for a minute. We went overtime, but I enjoyed every minute of it. I hope y'all did.
We did.
I hope y'all got something out of this. We're going to come back and do this again. I'm pretty sure the comments going to be off the charts again. We might invite you to the show to come in and talk about it, right? Until the next time, we appreciate y'all checking us out.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. That was good, y'all.
I will.
That's why I kept going, because it got better later. So that first stuff I might not even use.
Oh, you can use it for another show.
Yeah.
Or
So
break it up.
yeah, break
Take
it
out
up.
the key
Mess
stuff.
around.
You was live?
I'm still alive. Let's see.
So you wasn't nervous?
Let's see.
Cool.
Change shirts again?
No, it was hot.
Why this shirt was hot?
Because it swelled like.
Is it?